holidays and welcome to the Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center Ice Arena for Northwest Suburban Boys Hockey tonight. It's the Osseo Orioles taking on the Totino-Grace Eagles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Joe Moline. And Joe, for this Grace Club, you look at their record, doesn't bowl you over right away at 4-3 early, but a one-goal loss to Hermantown, a one-goal loss to Matamidi. This is a team that has a chance to do some good things this year.
Yeah, you look at what they've done. They, tough schedule early on. That loss to Matamidi, that's a team that's been to the state tournament a couple years in a row now at the Class A level. They go up north to Duluth. They beat Duluth Marshall, always a good team, and hang in there against Hermantown, who's always a state favorite. So their schedule right now is getting them prepared for this tough conference schedule.
Osseo, a team at 2-4 coming in. They've been a little short-handed for various reasons, some injuries, some illness, some other things. They're getting a couple of guys back tonight, but they also have a couple of guys who are going to be out that hadn't been. So they haven't really been at full strength, but their coaches, Kevin Willie and Mark Fanon, say, a lot of our guys are working hard. We like some of the things we're doing. We feel like if we can get our full lineup together, we have a chance to do some decent things this year.
Yeah, you hear about this Osseo team. Right now, what you do hear about is the grit that this team has. And they've lost a couple of games early here, but this is a team that doesn't have the depth to endure some of the kind of things they've gone through early on in the year, but that can build some character and get them ready for late in the season.
These teams have had some pretty good games here in these last couple of years, and this one a little added importance too, because Totino-Grace is now in Class AA, and this means it's a section game as well as a conference game. You want to get to February and look back and say, well, yeah, we beat this team if it comes down to these two being close to each other in the seeding.
Yeah, Totino-Grace making that step into AA surprised some people. It's not like they've been in the overall dominant Class A team. They've been very good, but taking that step, though, it allows them to, it's a tougher road to state, no doubt, because you have to win a couple of really tough games, but it also brings in maybe a new kind of athlete, too, a kid that can play that AA schedule and play against AA teams throughout the season.
Let's look at key players in tonight's game, starting with Osseo, and one of their guys who they're counting on to try and get some scoring punch up front of junior Jack Pojar.
Yeah, Pojar's been one of the players that's been able to put the puck in the net. Let's face it, a team that struggles putting the puck in the net, right? But right now, he's averaging just over a point per game, and they're going to have to count on players like him to step up here tonight to get some goals on the board.
And for Totino-Grace, a guy you'll definitely notice out there, if for nothing else, for his size, 6'5" wing Kyle Heffron can really play too.
Yeah, you watch him on video and he's just really smooth for his size. He's not at 6'5", he's a really good skater. Not overly fast from what I could see, but he's got great hands, great vision, sees the ice really well. And anytime when you have that kind of size, you're going to have college recruiters and NHL scouts' attention right away.
They've got some real good young talent on this Grace team too, a couple of freshmen who will be impact players tonight as well. Should be a good contest here tonight as we get set for holiday season. Osseo and Totino-Grace. The puck drops next here on CCX.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is now available on Roku and Apple TV. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You'll also have access to a large on-demand library, including daily newscasts and full sporting events. To find the app, go to the store and search CCX and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. Now available on Roku and Apple TV.
Osseo Orioles hitting the ice here at Brooklyn Park Arena. Joe and I were just talking off camera that at one time this was the arena that Osseo varsity used. That goes back quite a few years. They've been over at the Tin Bin, as they call it, Dick Bra Arena right near the high school for quite some time now. At that time that arena was there, but kind of wasn't really deemed ready for prime time as a varsity arena. They did a few upgrades. And now it's been in use for that for quite some time. But at one time, this was the Orioles' home rink. And then obviously Totino-Grace, this is their home rink now. And that was not the case until fairly recently. They had been over at Columbia Arena, I think, for a long time. And then Parade after that. And kind of found a home here at Brooklyn Park. And I think this arena kind of needed a high school tenant too. So good fit, I think, in that regard. Obviously not too far away from Grace, just across down 694.
Yeah, I think it's probably a way better situation than Parade. Parade's a nice arena to watch games in, but this is probably better for where most of these kids drive home each night.
Only time that they'll play this year, the Northwest Suburban this year has gone away from the 2-division setup in hockey. They're all one again. So just one big conference playing everybody once, and then some of them have scheduled a second game against some of their rivals, and those games would be non-conference type games. Talked to the coaches a little bit about it tonight, and they said, it was mainly because some of the teams wanted to have a little more ability to schedule outside the conference and maybe schedule some of their section opponents or things like that, whereas when they were so full of conference games, that was hardly possible.
Well, it's a good idea because, if I look at it, there's a couple teams within that conference where I don't want to play Maple Grove twice. If I'm Osseo, maybe you want it for the rivalry's sake, but you want to go find some winnable games for your kids too as well. You look at it from Totino-Grace, it's nice to go play the other private schools. And a team like Rogers, who just moved into the conference, they want to play some Section 8 foes. So it's allowed them to, they had Bemidji and Roseau down last week, and they're going to play Moorhead later in the year. If their whole schedule was filled with conference games, they wouldn't be able to take on some of those section opponents, which help them when it comes to section seating time.
Yeah, and that's they pointed out too with same deal for Andover and Elk River, where they're in Section 7, and obviously they didn't get a chance to schedule as many of those teams as they would have liked either. So I think it's kind of a good deal, like you said, for both the teams that are the elite teams at the top, but also the lower teams that maybe don't want to take it on the chin twice against Andover, Blaine, or Maple Grove, whatever too. So for that part of it, I think certainly a good thing. A little bit of confusion thrown in on which are conference games and which aren't, though, when they schedule a team for the second time. But as I said to Mark Fanon and Kevin Willey, well, that's a small price to pay for getting an overall competitive schedule. We're going to take a quick timeout. We will come back as we drop the puck here for the start of tonight's contest. It is Osseo and Totino-Grace boys hockey next here on CCX.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, they can do it too, I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun?
Welcome back here to Brooklyn Park as we get set to do battle here with the Orioles and the Eagles. I think the kids are, they're excited to play this game too, Joe, but also there's the, the holiday break is right around the corner too. I think, probably a little bit of extra excitement in the air because the kids know that there's a little bit of time off school coming too, so they're kind of jacked up for this one for that reason, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think winter break's always a great time, especially when you're in high school. You're grinded out, probably having a tough week at school academically, but you got a nice little break ahead of you, and then most of these teams across the state go to their respective holiday tournaments, and it's a chance to go bring home some hardware.
Yeah, Totino-Grace will be playing at the Hockey for Life Classic at Dakota Ice Center, and Warroad will be the destination for Osseo. They've been going up there for, I believe they said, 24 years. There's a look at our netminders tonight. Wes Johnson, the young freshman, will get the call in net for Totino-Grace, and Dale Fanonstein, the starter for Osseo. Cooper Olson, who had started more of their games, is out with an illness tonight for Osseo. So Johnson, they like his potential, and we are underway here. Osseo, of course, in orange, and Totino-Grace in white. They were in their gray warm-up jerseys before the contest. Brought into the Osseo zone here as they kick it toward the corner. Sam Thielen over there trying to play it behind the net. Intercepted here for the Orioles, taken away by Cade Westman. Westman getting it back here now for Osseo. Trying to drag it around the D, but that didn't quite work out. Eagles able to tap it back out to center. It got away briefly there. Circling back, though, to pick it up was Cody Fishbach. Fishbach, one of the guys just coming back into the lineup for Osseo. So they're, take a while to get the legs for some of their guys that haven't played a whole lot or just getting back. But as Joe said, an opportunity maybe for some other guys to have gotten some more ice time. And ultimately, it might help you in the long run to have had to use some of those extra guys.
Osseo doing a good job here on the breakout pass. They're trying to stretch the ice a little bit with some cross-ice passes right there. Just at the end of the shift, just flipping it down on goal and getting off the ice. Nice play there by Pojar.
There's Adam Sherritt on the middle left there with his arms folded, and then Tim Parkos, the second-year co-coaches for Totino-Grace, and they've kind of shown that they've looking for big things, but in moving up to AA, and they've been out, getting some young talent into the program. Here's Heffron with the steal. He was just about to pull the trigger and had his stick lifted by Cameron Klein. Orioles can't get it out. Long one thrown in on net. Fanon Stein the stop, and then a big rebound, but it kicks back out to center. And the Eagles will dump it back in. Heffron had to tag up there. Pass across. Brodin took a little bit of a hit there. Orioles got it out just barely, so Grace had to touch up. Back across here, Bodine. Sent up that left wing side, but intercepted. Osseo trying to finish up a change here, but the Eagles were unable to make him pay for it. Long rink wide pass there off target. Fishbach intercepted it and then knocked away. Bodine back to play it, couldn't get it out. Battle and a physical battle there. Fishbach might have gotten away with one a little bit there. He was working him over pretty good.
Fishbach was able to make a lot of contact there without the opposing player even having the puck. Referee let him play on that play.
Here's another look at we might take that as a little bit of an indicator that might be a kind of a let him play kind of night, possibly, as I don't think Osseo would have had much of an argument if the arm had gone up on that one. Orioles control the draw. Matt Holeen ringing it around, and they try and chip it out, but it's kept in right at the line briefly, but then the Orioles do get it out. Went off Pojar's skate. Now Pojar will come up with it here and gets away a quick shot, but Wes Johnson was ready for it.
Well, Wes Johnson makes this save before he actually makes the save because he was out, cut down the angle. Look how far Johnson is out of here of the net. There's nowhere for him to really shoot at. I mean, that's a great scoring chance coming out of the half wall there, but the goalie Johnson was out challenging and made that net look very small.
I like the way that Pojar, even though he didn't have a lot of room to work with, got rid of it in a hurry there too. There's a look at the Osseo bench, and Kevin Willey to the far left, and Mark Fino, the third in line there, as the co-head coaches for the Orioles, and they've been together for a long time. They were assistants prior to that, but they took over together as co-head coaches and have been around 12 years, both played in the program. Of course, for Osseo, a couple of pretty good players in the 90s. Mark Fino had a great career at Bemidji State, and Kevin Willey at St. John's beyond their Osseo days. Oh, and that pass just failed to connect. It was in off the stick, though, of Thielen. Thielen goes down as this one lifted on out. And going to be an icing call against the Orioles. We will come back into the Osseo zone. 13:44 to go here in the first. No score on the board. And one decent chance for each team so far. Probably a little better one, actually, for Pojar of Osseo. Oliver Moore will face it off here against Luke Sawicki, a couple of young guys, freshmen, battling there. Orioles quickly reverse it around Jackson Dwyer, and then they'll come back the other way here. That shot blocked. Fanenstein knocks it away with his goal stick. Now Dwyer carrying it for the Orioles. Trying to play it around the D and go get it himself there. Now they play it back down. Centering pass going to come all the way through to the top. And a rising drive. Not sure what that one hit. But a near miss for Osseo as see if we can see what this one, if it catches crossbar.
Well,
oh no, it was off the blocker of Johnson.
Johnson was down low and caught it late, saw it late, and was able to get his blocker up, showing great hand-eye coordination. That puck was on a nice little line, though, and that pass accidentally made it back its way to the defenseman. That pass was not intended for him.
Klein getting it over toward Dwyer. Dwyer taking a check there. Orioles able to keep it in. They haven't really had that much puck possession time, but they have gotten a couple of decent chances based on limited opportunities.
Well, so far they've kept it pretty simple. When they've gotten that red line, they've done a pretty good job of just getting it deep, taking a couple of icings when they get in trouble. They're kind of trying to play the most simplistic game they can right now.
Eagles looking to get things set up, chipped out front, and that one comes all the way through as they tried to go to Heffron, cutting down the middle. Orioles getting a little bunched up here as they try and get it out. Klein floating it out to neutral, played by a high stick there. So the faceoff will come down Totino-Grace end as they tried to knock that pass out of midair at center ice. So another draw coming up in the Eagles zone here.
Osseo got a little bit lucky there. Klein had his right winger cutting across, giving him an angle just to play that puck up the boards. Instead he tried to go cross ice. His right winger had already vacated that ice, so they got pretty lucky that they get this face off the offensive zone for missing that play.
Pojar ringing it around here. Battle for it along the wall. Eagles looking to break it out up their left side. Nice play to push it ahead to himself, driving the net hard. Oh, and Jack Gray had a great opportunity there for Grace. And now the Orioles looking to turn it back the other way. Pojar knocked down as he tried to kick that puck up to his stick. Boy, Gray really turned his shoulder and drove the net hard for Grace. Now Gray dropping the pass off, and there's a blocker save by Fanon. Gray takes a check. Floated out to center there. Golden knocking it ahead. Now Austin Bernovic, another talented young guy, freshman here for the Eagles. Trying to spin away with it there. They didn't quite get enough on that to get it to the point, and then tapped ahead by Pojar ahead to Westman. Cade Westman carrying, shooting. That one goes wide of the target. And Orioles able to keep it alive, yeah. And that one will be called. Going to call a trip actually there, but either way it'll be first penalty call of the game.
Yeah, I had seen the interference. Jack Gray cut across there, and it seemed like if the Osseo player, I didn't catch what number it was, if he catches this pass cleanly, it's a good play by Gray, I thought, but yeah, he sticks the leg out a little bit too. Yep, yeah. So maybe a little interference and tripping on it, but I had the interference. The trip was definitely there as well. Good call by the official.
So we'll see what Osseo can do with the power play here. Kind of a dangerous one too, and that's the reason that they're not going to give you any leeway on a play like that. See guys get hurt on a pretty regular basis if you get the leg-on-leg contact there. Not to say it was real malicious, but he definitely did stick it out a little bit. So the Orioles trying to get things set up on the power play here. Kind of interesting as they kind of overload that one side. They got the lone D-man up top there, Klein. Now he takes it. And that shot attempt never made it to the net. Try to work it down low, but the pass misses. Eagles, though, cannot get it out. Back out top here to Klein. Tried to go cross ice, but that one's picked off. A chance for a short-handed rush here for the Eagles, but it just gets away. Luke Gelser had that one skip away from him a little bit. Now the Orioles bring it back in. 40 to go in the power play for Osseo. Not much doing so far for sure for them. Pauline back to pick it up. Looking around for Fishbach. Pressured a little bit, and they have to turn back and start again. Now Cade Westman getting ahead of steam here for the Orioles. Westman can skate a little bit. He goes to the net here. Oh boy. Eagles defense caught a little off guard as he kept that puck himself and drove to the net. That pass deflected and knocked away. 5 to go in the penalty, and the Eagles with the little shorthanded rush again. And that one will wind up on net. Fanon the stop as Adam Johnson never really got a shot away. He was trying to protect that puck. And look, Westman can skate a little bit here. He's not the biggest guy around, but he turned on the Jets a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? We didn't see because the replay started a little bit late. Johnson got a piece of that puck too, but Westman started that speed. He had a bunch of crossovers there on the top of his own circles, and that really built up the speed. He got around the one first forechecker and blew by the defenseman.
I'm guessing a little film session, not going to be a fun one for the defenseman. That let him just kind of walk around him there. Didn't really square him up very well.
Yeah, and if you're the defenseman, you're also frustrated with the forward, because the forward, you want to take a better angle to slow him down. If a guy's coming at you with that much speed through the neutral zone, it's really hard as a defenseman to time that one out correctly.
Oh, and there's an opportunity off the one-timer there. Connor Smith from the slot for Grace, but couldn't quite get it on net. Smith trying to pick it up again here and does. Down to the circle, they go back out high, but they were pressured. The puck came out, so they have to regroup. Eagles got a little bit panicky with that puck there. Oh boy.
Silly play, absolutely silly.
Going to be an interference call here coming up, so Osseo will go back to the power play.
Well, Schrader just sticks out his shoulder. He tries to set a pick for his teammate and just lowers his shoulder a little bit on the pick. If he just stands there, he's already done his job. Just stand there. Watch, goes for the hit.
Yeah.
But if you just stand there, you get away with it because you were in that ice. That was your ice.
So Schrader for interference at 8:56. Eagles have taken their second penalty here in about a 3-minute span. So obviously not a good trend overall for them as that one gets through, and Johnson the stop for Grace. You know, and sometimes when that can happen a little bit too when you're playing against guys you know a little bit. I mean, obviously I don't know all of it, but you kind of want to get that extra little shot into that extra little hit, and it's tough to be disciplined. But that one was, as you said, it was too easy to see too. That's the other part.
Yeah, and his defense could have been that he was defending himself. He lowered his shoulder to not get hit, perhaps. But yeah, it's not going to go your way when that happens.
Here's Klein carrying it for the Orioles. Tipped into the Grace zone, and they tried to dump it right back out, but it didn't work. Here comes Klein. And he scores! A screen in front, and that one whistled all the way through by Klein, and the Orioles will strike first.
I love the fact that Klein let this one rip here, and it was a nice hard snapshot. And this puck got up on Johnson again like we saw one earlier. This time Johnson couldn't get his block on it, but they were taking away that pass on the boards. Like Klein normally would go back to the boards here, but then as you can see, all of a sudden there's a good screen in front, nice work out front by the Orioles forward, and why not just let it fly?
Be the second goal of the year for Klein. And so a 1-0 lead here for Osseo. Probably considered the underdog coming in, I think you'd have to say, but they, with the help of a couple of penalties taken by Grace, have now taken a 1-0 lead.
And that's why, you give up a power play goal, and that's why you stay out of the penalty box, but the earlier penalty as well. I mean, the two penalties that Totino-Grace has taken has allowed Osseo to establish some offense and some puck control and really kind of help them build some momentum. I mean, the most of the play has now been in Totino-Grace's zone here in this first period.
Pojar and Dwyer get the assist on Klein's second of the year power play goal at 9:32. So now it's knocked away and a chance at a goal. Grace ties it up as Sam Thielen pumps it home just after the turnover by the Orioles, and just like that, Thielen will even it up.
And that is a play right there where you got Cade Westman, who knows he has some speed and some puck skating ability. So he gets this puck on his stick and he wants to make a play. He wants to take off. But just a slight little poke check there by Gelser knocks the puck off the stick, and all of a sudden, before you know it, the puck is in the back of the net. And that's where you got to go back to that simple play that Osseo was playing with in the first 10 minutes, and that puck just gets chipped to the wall as soon as you see that puck get out in front of the net.
Thielen will get his 6th of the year. Gelser should get an assist. Whether he will or not, it's hard to say because he knocked the puck away by hitting the stick of Westman. We'll see what the ultimate official word is.
Yeah, we have the power of replay to see how good of a play that was. That was a definite assist because he kind of poked it with purpose too, didn't he?
Yeah, seeing a guy in his own colored jersey there, he was able to knock it right in the direction of Thielen, who didn't waste any time getting rid of that one. And Fanon, Stein, I mean, it's kind of easy to see why he wasn't quite ready for that because his guy had the puck and then all of a sudden he didn't. So 1-1 hockey game. Well, they gave the assist to Moore. So a tying goal for Grace. Orioles looking to break it out, but it's kept in, chipped down, intercepted there, and it squirts out to center. Caleb Manson had it briefly. Now here come the Eagles. Heffron trying to drag it around the D, but a nice poke check there by Holine. Grace able to force a turnover at the blue line. Now trying to spring it up their right wing side there. Knocked away though, and here comes Osseo again, and then re-intercepted at center. That pass tipped as they tried to go back for Jack Gray. Gray jumping in to pick it up here for the Eagles, and thrown down low. Centering pass out high, and not much wood on that one. Follow-up try. Fanenstein the save on Gray. Gray picking it up again. Trying to come out high with it, and does. And that pass tipped away. Pojar, a breakaway chance for Osseo. Pojar in and denied. Now the Eagles trying to answer with a rush of their own, but that one was knocked away. So a great opportunity there for the Orioles to retake the lead, but Johnson was having none of it. Gabrick Olsen back to pick it up. Long pass onto the stick there of Pojar, and then across ice with it he goes. And that shot stopped by Johnson. So an opportunity for the Orioles here, but Pojar denied as that pass was tipped, and had a pretty clean breakaway, but Johnson able to stop him as he tried to take the full shot stick side there.
Yeah, Pojar just needs to get that puck up. I mean, he saw what he saw, and that was blocker side, top shelf was open. Couldn't get the snap on it quite the way he wanted to. But that play is a result of a kind of a careless D-to-D pass, even though it wasn't the defenseman who made the pass, it was a winger playing up top. But that's a real tough pass to make there when they're covering the D the way they were.
Yeah, and it just kind of it reinforces a good example of on a play like that, you've got to be sure or don't do it. I mean, even eating the puck there would have been a lot better. Sure, it's not always going to deflect right to a guy for a breakaway, but it's still a dangerous play. 4:25 to go here in the first. Pretty good first period of hockey here. 1 goal apiece as Osseo struck on a power play, and then Grace answered just 22 seconds later after a turnover was forced. Battle for it along the wall. Now the Eagles get a little space to work with. 2-on-3 on the rush here, but a great move to the front, and the shot goes wide from Luke Gelser. Belzer picks it up again here for Grace. He'll dump it down to the corner, but they're going to go off on a change. Banked out to center, but that one intercepted here. Defenseman kind of turned the wrong way, right back into the forecheck a little bit there for the Eagles. Now an opportunity, but this one whistled down. We've got a penalty coming up against Osseo. Going to be a tripping call, I think, kind of away from the play.
Well, I don't know if the tripping was away from the play or if the referee was away from the play. The near official closest to the puck did not make this call. It was the referee on the other side of the ice, and see if you can see this tripping happening. It comes out right here, I believe. There it is. It's a true trip.
Yeah, you're right. It was
Manson, but it's just the referee nearest to the play did not make the call.
And that's why it seemed a little delayed, because I think he was kind of waiting for his partner there to make that call, and when he didn't, You know, you have different angles too, though. Even though one guy's closer, sometimes you can see it better from a different spot.
Well, the reason I like the call being made too is it was starting to result in a scoring chance for Osseo. I mean, as the play developed, Osseo was coming out of the corner 2-on-1 there and had a great scoring chance.
So first penalty of the game against the Orioles goes to Caleb Manson. Coming out front, there's a pass. Wow, there's probably really a shot there for Bernavec. He was maybe a little too unselfish with that one, as there was a little bit of traffic on that pass. So the Eagles bring it right back in. Heffron's pass knocked away. The clearing attempt, first one hit an Oriole, but then they were able to pick it up anyway and dump it on down as Daniel Ellingson got to it. Minute 15 to go now in the power play for Grace. A 1-1 hockey game. Eagles their first turn with the man advantage. See what they can do with it. Oliver Moore, the young freshman, puts it over, and there's a shot that deflects off the official behind the net. Quickly work it around the horn here. Moore trying to go to the net. That pass was deflected though. Heffron up with it. Goes by one. Heffron shooting, but they got a stick on it. It's up into the netting. Have a face-off here in the Osseo zone. 49 to go on the power play here for Grace.
What a great play by Gabrick Olsen. He's down low on the box, the lower left defenseman, and he sees his forward get beat, and he comes out to recover and gets a stick on Heffron's shot there. Otherwise, Heffron has a great scoring opportunity. Nice play by Olsen.
I said the kind of the remnants of the early Wild. I have to believe Gabrick isn't a coincidence for a young hockey player, right?
He's number 10 as well.
And there's a rebound goal put away by Adam Johnson for Grace. Fanenstein the first stop, but Johnson was left pretty much alone in front and just had to make sure he didn't cough it up there. Taps it home. Eagles go up 2-1.
Well, I don't like to blame goalies for goals, for one. It's never their fault. They're shorthanded, but that one hits them right in the midsection. And in varsity hockey, you got to try to control that rebound better, because they just shot it on goal from a pretty tough angle, hit you right in the midsection. If that puck pops out in front of the net when you're shorthanded, you're going to give up a lot of goals, as it's tough to tie that forward up so quickly. So that goal right there, I just don't think that rebound was well controlled by Fanenstein.
Thielen and Howie Moore will get assists for the Eagles on Johnson's first goal of the season. A power play goal.
Orioles got lucky right there. There was a pass back to the point, and there's going to be a big rip coming, but the defenseman just mishandles the puck, and Totino-Grace goes offsides.
Westman falls right off the draw. Eagles wind up with it. And knocked away here by Holine. Get it up the left side there. Had to throw it out front toward Pojar, but Eagles break that up, dumped out to center. Holine being pressured, stolen, but Eagles were in offside there, so Gray had to just flick it to the corner. If that one had developed just a little bit different, they would have had a great opportunity. Pass knocked down at the blue line and now picked up again. Oops, a player falls, and now Gray following up. Tried to tuck it in backhand, and Fanenstein just got a little piece of that one. Gray was Johnny on the spot there and had a little mini breakaway, but couldn't quite tuck it away. Made a pretty good move, and Pojar was tripped. Another penalty coming up against Grace as Pojar went down hard in the corner. Orioles maintained possession of the puck though, and then the shot, and Johnson the stop, and now we will get our penalty called on the trip.
That's Schroeder again back to the box, second time here this evening. And it's interesting. I try to teach players that, there's places on the ice you just shouldn't take tripping penalties, and right there when the player's just skating into the corner to retrieve a puck, or he's no danger to you. Just get in good position. You don't need to get your stick tied up in his skates.
So it is Luke Schrader for a trip at 16:35. So this one will carry into the second period unless Osseo gets a quick one here. And that shot sailing high and wide. Behind the net they go with it. Couple seconds. Westman trying to put it down low for the tip in, but didn't quite connect, and the period will come to an end. So an entertaining first period of hockey. Osseo drew first blood on a power play, but then Grace answering with a couple of goals. And our score after one period here in Brooklyn Park is Totino-Grace 2 and Osseo 1. We'll have first period highlights and more in a moment.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Thanks for watching high school hockey on CCX Sports here, and on the dasher boards here at Brooklyn Park Arena. 2-1 Totino-Grace leading Osseo after one period of a pretty entertaining first period of hockey as we check out some of the highlights from that opening period of play here. As a nice rush here by Gray turns the corner and gets to the net. Fanon got a little piece of that one on a good opportunity for Grace. Osseo with Westman getting a little head of steam heading back, and watch him get all the way down, bearing down on the D, got caught a little flat-footed, nice move, and then Johnson just got a piece of that. And then here is the goal. Klein walking to the top and unleashing a wrist shot on the power play here. Some traffic in front. Johnson didn't see it very well until it was too late, and that one under the crossbar and in for Klein. But Grace answering, they force a quick turnover right there, just jabbed away and put away by Thielen. As Joe says at the time, it really should have been Gelser with the assist, and then a rebound goal on the power play there. Adam Johnson able to pick it up, go to his backhand, and just tuck it away as Grace takes their first lead on that power play marker. And you see the shots on goal and edge for Grace. Their big issue certainly has been the 3 penalties that they took in that first period. So Osseo still has minute 36 to go on a power play when we begin period number 2. We are going to take a timeout. Please stay with us for the second period coming up in just a few minutes. It is Totino-Grace leading Osseo by a score of 2-1 here on CCX Sports. Welcome back here to Brooklyn Park as the team's starting to loosen up for period number 2 here. Totino-Grace leading Osseo by a score of 2-1 here in Northwest Suburban Conference Boys Hockey. Jay Wilcox, Joe Moline with you here from Brooklyn Park, and got still some penalty time to go here on Totino-Grace's Luke Schrader here to begin this second period. And sometimes it feels like, when you're on the power play to begin the period, it takes a little while to kind of get back into the flow of things. But at the same time, if you do succeed with it, you can get a little momentum built early in this period.
Yeah, and I think, Osseo had some confidence. It was just making better plays with the puck. Well on the power play, but after the power play expired a little bit there. But when Totino-Grace got up 2-1, you almost saw a different Osseo team for a little while there, and you thought, oh gosh, now these guys are suddenly not making some of the smart plays with the puck that they were making earlier, and they just were kind of missing some open passes, and their confidence really went down very quickly just in that couple of minutes. So getting them back on the power play might give them that opportunity to get that confidence back.
And for the Eagles, I'm sure there was some mention made in their locker room about, you got to stay out of the box. I mean, it sounds simple and all that, but and there are different situations and types of penalties that they took, and I think you wouldn't really put any of the three in a category of, well, that's a penalty, a good penalty, or a penalty that you could see why it happened because you were stopping the scoring chance. That really wasn't the case.
Preventing goals is the main reason why you can accept penalties. Otherwise, it's really hard to accept the ones that happen in different parts of the rink. I know stuff happens, but.
So the Orioles control the draw, and they'll get a chance to work it up ice here on this power play. Into the offensive zone they come, and dumped around toward Dwyer. Dwyer will come to the point with it. Now they put it on the stick of Jack Pojar. Looking for a little give and go. Pass was tipped though, and then just hammered out off the glass by Austin Bernovic.
It's an aggressive kill from Totino-Grace, and there's a lot of height too on the ice, long stick range.
I was just thinking the same thing, that he closed quick. Oh, there's a turnover here and a chance. Fanonstein the save, and then the rebound just misses.
Well, he got slashed. The penalty's coming.
Penalty, well, they put it away. This penalty call was about to be made, but instead it winds up as a goal for Totino-Grace's Howie Moore. And the Eagles go up 3-1.
Oh, that's just not good hockey there out of Osseo to give up this shorthanded chance. And then you see the slash where he knocks the stick out of his hand. Penalty's coming.
Yeah, and in fact, that it would have been interesting if, as they get that puck, Moore winds up with it. And Osseo, everything kind of broke down by then. And so even after the first good chance. And then Moore was really left alone. So he'll get his third goal of the season, a short-handed goal for the Eagles. There's still 46 seconds to go on the power play for Osseo.
Osseo just needs to do a better job of taking care of the puck. That's what happened on that power play right there. Totino-Grace, give them credit. They're getting sticks in lanes and they're getting sticks on pucks, but Osseo needs to take better care of it.
Well, the Orioles will try and bounce back here and see if they can't get one of their own on this power play. That shot attempt didn't make it there. Golden with the block. Driving to the net here, and an opportunity. Fanonstein the save. It should have been Howie Moore. They're reading it as Oliver Moore on the PA, but Howie Moore getting that goal for Grace. Another look at the move here.
Yeah, Gelser just with a great individual effort. He's a great athlete. He's been playing hockey here since a freshman. Played both varsity football and hockey as a freshman at Totino-Grace, and you saw the speed and strength he has when he carries the puck up to the neutral zone.
14 to go in the power play. This game is feeling like it's starting to get away from Osseo here. Late first, early second. Giving up a short-handed goal here. Now here they come with the one last rush on the power play. That shot didn't have much on it and knocked to the corner. Westman gaining control for Osseo. He and Pojar are a little bunched up there. And the Eagles get it on out of there and around to Thielen. Thielen banking it ahead here to Delzer. Delzer walking in, and he scores. I think there was going to be a penalty call coming there as well, but it didn't matter. Delzer pumps it home, and Totino-Grace strikes again early in the second.
Oh, once again, you saw Delzer just determined to make something happen here on this shift. He had a great shift. Should have had a goal earlier with a great move. Now this time he comes down the outside, gets a great feed off the boards, nice angled pass. 2-on-1. Defenseman goes down, but he saw it. I mean, he looked off the defender a little bit, gave him the passing lane. Goalie goes down, throws it over his shoulder.
Here come the Orioles, and that one tipped into the air, and Johnson will glove it. They did correct to Howie Moore getting that third Grace goal, and then
can't think of a worse start to the second period for Osseo. They come out of the power play, think that they're going to get some momentum back, but Totino-Grace has been just determined here in this first couple of shifts. They're playing with a lot of speed.
Thielen will get the lone assist on Gelser's 7th of the year at a minute 57, so a 4-1 lead. Eagles getting hungry for more here.
Yeah, you get the sense that almost there was a little bit of excitement in the locker room from Totino-Grace in between periods where it seems like they just came out and you could see them just moving their feet a little bit more and playing with more speed than they did in the first period.
Pass intercepted by Howie Moore and then dumped back in. And some of the little things that Osseo was doing right early in the game now not happening nearly as often as Joe said. 3-on-2 chance here for Osseo, but pretty well defended. As a good close by Schrader. Tapped out to center. Now the Orioles will get it again. Just a little more overall speed, obviously, for Grace, too, and that's kind of showing up here on some of these plays.
Well, you're seeing their speed with the puck, but without the puck has been the most impressive part. They are closing on Osseo so quickly right now. Now, that 3-on-2 from Osseo, there's a good back check coming, so it's got to be precise, but Sawicki drove to the middle there, and he kind of took the 3-on-2 away. He took the advantage that he had away as he drove right into the defenseman. What you want to do there is spread that defenseman out, isolate him, and make it more of a 2-on-1 than a 3-on-2.
Good point there about the speed. I mean, you're first thinking of speed benefiting your offense, but it can really benefit your defense too, and seen that on a few. And then also the long reach that you talked about earlier too, where they were able to break up some plays just by having a good stick and a long reach to break things up a little bit. Back out to the point, but not out. Oh, and Fanon Stein. A little trouble with that one as they battle in front of the net. He almost over-skated that one a little bit.
And you see right now, Totino-Grace has all the momentum, and you hate playing this kind of hockey and resorting to it, but if you're Osseo right now, you have to play the most simplistic form of hockey to try to kind of neutralize that speed. Here's a play right here. Try to get the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible with some of those long stretch passes. Flip it off the boards, get it out.
Heffron got knocked down as he got the pass away. That's not something you see all that often. Kyle Heffron, not only is he 6'5", but we got to look at a close-up of his face. He could pass for a 30-year-old out there.
He looks like he's at the wrong game. It's like a college player out here against high school kids.
Pojar fell and the puck was under him. He didn't realize it. Now Heffron will come in and pick it up. Heffron carrying it ahead here for the Eagles, going in. Oh, and that time Fanon Stein denied him. And Osseo looking to quickly answer. And the shot sails wide though as the back check arrived before Ellingson could get a real good one away. And then another shot flung wide of the net. Played down toward the corner here as they try and get Ellingson free. He battles with Schrader there. And the puck pulled off the wall by Oliver Moore, the talented young freshman here for Grace. Thielen tapping it to the wall, and then he took a little shot in the back. Pojar trying to get around the D, but Parker Gnoss says no way. And then this pass fails to connect. It'll be an icing call here against Totino-Grace, and we will come back into the Eagles' end of the rink. They have really kind of taken this one over. Osseo scored the first goal, but it's been mostly Grace since, especially late in the first and early in the second. They've put 2 goals on the board in the first 2 minutes of this period, one shorthanded and then an even strength goal.
Offensive zone faceoff for Osseo. These become so important when you're the underdog. You got to try to get scoring chances out of those kind of faceoffs, offensive zone.
Yeah, the margin for error for Osseo is going to be not real big, in this game, especially now that they've fallen behind 4-1. We even kind of knew that coming in. So, any little opportunities that you get a chance for, you got to be able to take advantage, and that'll be offside as pass was stolen there, but the forechecker was caught in the zone a little bit as Sawicki couldn't quite get back out, and Eagle was in his way, and he tried to get around him, but I don't think the puck carrier Klein quite realized, and tough to hold up there, so a chance goes by the wayside for Osseo. Gray knocking it in deep into the Orioles zone. Eagles go in and get it. Nice little reversal there to avoid the check. Seemed like the Orioles were certainly finding the going a little bit easier, breaking the puck out very early in the game than what they are now. Interception, and again they've got somebody caught in the zone as Dwyer had fallen. Finley's pass hit a skate there. Osseo trying to force a turnover as Sawicki was putting some pressure on. Then a nice hit thrown there for the Orioles. And knocked out, battling through traffic there was Bern. Eagles able to fling it back down deep. Give chase there as Connor Smith going for it. Now Gray will push it back out to the point. Slide it across and looking for the tip out front. Continuing to put pressure on here. Now it comes back out high. Here's a high shot off the glass. Back to the point again. Parker Noss. And that one will bounce all the way around. Howie Moore up with it. Eagles pinning Osseo in their own zone, although not getting, great chances on this shift yet. They continue to cycle it here. Osseo could really use a change right now. I think if they get it, they're going to ice it. And that is exactly what we see. That's an opportunity there that they had to take advantage. They'd been out there quite a long time chasing.
And it came at a time when they just had about 2 good shifts in a row where they were establishing a little bit of forecheck. No great scoring chances, but then Totino-Grace won one battle along the blue line there. Even their player lost his stick and was able to kick the puck deep into the zone. And that right there, establishing that zone and getting back on the forecheck, changed everything.
Off the draw, Eagles wind up with it here. Heffron spinning away. Trying to put that pass out front. Now it comes back to him, and he'll go point this time instead. Schrader looking for the tip, and it goes up and out of play.
Well, great job by the goaltender that time. Stein found that puck through traffic on a tip, got enough of it, and deflected it out of play. So faceoff will be back inside their own zone, but he gets a piece of this one late.
Oh, crossbar.
Maybe he didn't get a piece of it. The referee, I believe, thought he got a piece of it because they kept the face-off inside, unless they thought Osseo was the one that tipped it.
So goaltender's best friend there, a little iron. And then this pass stolen, but then quickly recovered by Golden for Totino-Grace. Comes in. Fanonstein had that one screwed off his stick a little bit, but nobody around for the Eagles just at that moment. Orioles, it wasn't the cleanest breakout, but they get it done eventually. 2-on-2 on the rush here. Pojar circling back, but his pass blocked by Golden. Grace doing a really nice job of just taking away space, closing quick. Oh, and it comes free out front, and Johnson a save on Pojar. Eagles got a little bit careless there and turned it over in their own zone, and it came right out front to Pojar.
Good forecheck, creates some scoring chances there, putting some pressure on the puck and forcing Totino-Grace to cough the puck up that we saw earlier in the game. Totino-Grace score on kind of a similar play on a forecheck.
And Pojar was the one with the long reach that time, able to free that one up. Try and tapped it home, but didn't quite work out as Johnson was ready. Now here come the Eagles with Oliver Moore leading the rush. Moore firing, that one was blocked A little over 8 minutes to go. The second pass out front, and they'll score another as the turnover again costing Osseo, and the pass out front, I believe it's Gelser who ended up tapping this one in, and the Eagles go up 5-1.
Yeah, this play starts back inside the Totino-Grace zone, in my opinion. There's such a great breakout. Thielen makes an excellent play along the boards on the nice little touch pass to his center. And then they come down with some speed, and they got Osseo scrambling. Then Osseo comes down here, tries to regroup, and just kind of an errant pass right there, getting to a spot and winning a race was Oliver Moore. You got to like what the freshman saw right there. He had good hockey awareness, knew that puck was going to go behind the net, and Osseo was always trying to get to the weak side. He knew that if he got over there, he could make a play. You always can tell good offensive players, they can transition so quickly to stealing the puck to going to offense, scoring chance, boom, it happens so quickly.
Yeah, and seeing the ice, you're seeing more than just the puck coming your way there. If you got your head up, one of your guys is in a position, and obviously Fanon was kind of caught in that spot where he thought the puck was going to be coming around the net, and he ended up getting caught out of position, although understandable why when you see how that one developed. And chances are pretty good that Dale's probably going to be the guy tonight with Cooper Olsen out sick. They've got another goalie dressed, obviously, but he played some in the JV game. And here's a chance. Pojar off the pipe. A near miss there for Osseo. So even if Fanonstein's maybe struggling a little and also getting not as much help as he'd like, he's probably going to be the guy that has to stick in the net tonight. Here's Pojar with a near miss here for Osseo. Nice little drop pass.
And that's what Osseo has to do. What I see has been struggling in their game the most today is that ability to find the open player and that ability to support the puck. When they come down in that one-on-one situation, a lot of times it's advantage to Totino-Grace. They got to find a way to get that second player involved.
That would have certainly helped their psyche anyway, if nothing else. I mean, to get a goal there, it was a very near miss. As Pojar really had Johnson beat, but hit the near side goalpost. Thrown out front, and the puck squirts away before they can get a shot attempt from Darby Jones there. Jones gets the pass away, a little 2-on-1 down low, and that one whistles high and wide. Eagles again cycling it here, coming out of the corner. A little backhand pass, trying to go across with it toward Jones. Orioles get it out, but gloved down there, and the Eagles are going to go right back on the attack as Golden up with it, and he'll flick it on in deep. Orioles eventually get the breakout here and throw a long one wide of the net. Chopped away in the corner. Schrader reversing field, but lost the puck. Put out front, shot and a goal. Jackson Dwyer pumps it home after the turnover as Klein setting him up, and there's a goal for Osseo. A moment ago, a near miss. This time they do not miss as Dwyer finishes it.
Well, they picked up their intensity on the forecheck the last couple of shifts, and that's what creates this turnover. Schrader just makes a bad decision right here. He's got an open player in the corner. He's got to just move that puck. Golden's just waiting for the pass. He tries to reverse it and do it on his own, and that's what happens in hockey right there. Sometimes you don't make the right hockey play, it can quickly result in a goal the other way.
Klein will get the lone assist as he should on that one. 10:58 the time, the fifth goal of the season for the senior Jackson Dwyer. So much needed goal for Osseo. Obviously they're still facing an uphill climb here, but they get rewarded after, a turnover there. And going to the net was Heffron, but sliding out is Fanonstein as Osseo got a little careless with that one.
You're seeing the youth and experience a little bit from this Osseo defensive core. They are under siege right now. And that pass, I mean, you go cross ice. We talked about it earlier. Cross ice alone is just dangerous. You go on your backhand, you better fire a saucer over there and get that puck to your partner.
And you also don't really want to be on exactly the same plane there if you're the defenseman. You want to give him a little bit more room to have an angle to get that puck to you. It's still probably not a very good play, but at least if you're not in such a straight line there, Heffron wouldn't have been able to jump that one as easily. Puck back into the Grace zone. Howie Moore will dump it around for Parker Noss here. Forecheck arrives though and gives him trouble. Westman almost got that centering pass away. To the line, but not out. Now it is, as they tried to spring Heffron. And Icing waved off here as they get to it down in the corner. Heffron carrying it across the slot, tried to dump the pass over, but intercepted there. Under 5 to play now in the second. It is 5-2 to Totino-Grace. Osseo did get the last one though. Here's Pojar coming off the wall. And firing the high shot. Boy, Heffron was so sure there was going to be a pass back to the point that he skated out and was looking to head the other way on a breakaway, but ended up putting himself out of position a little bit there. Pojar picking it up. Going to go back to the D with this one. Shot, though, partially blocked and falls over the net. Westman swinging it around behind, looking to go to Ellingson. Ellingson doubled up here. Kicked it free to himself, though. Puck knocked away, and that was a defenseman pinching in. Grace thought they were going to maybe have an odd man rush chance the other way, but instead dumped back down deep and thrown down the rink here by Howie Moore. This will be icing against the Eagles. 4 minutes to go in the second, and we'll come back into the Grace zone.
You know, it's interesting just how important just making good passes are. You have Pojar down here in the corner. He goes back to his defense and makes the right play. Sees Bodine open at the left point, but his pass is on his backhand, so Bodine has to catch it on his backhand, transfer to his forehand. By the time he's able to get that snapshot off, Totino-Grace blocks the shot. Scoring chance is gone.
Down deep with it as Sawicki tried to put it out front, intercepted there. Long bank pass. Doesn't quite connect for the Eagles, thrown right back out. This will be icing against the Orioles as we head back to the other end. We've seen a few more icings, I think, than the teams would like at this point. A couple times kind of on purpose because they were dead legs at the end of a shift, but certainly not in that case.
Yeah, I think you're seeing Osseo actually change its breakout a little bit too. They're flying wingers a little bit, trying to make it easier on their defensemen so they don't have to make that key inside the zone pass. They're just letting them send it.
Pass intercepted at center by Schrader, and he will dump it back in. Fanonstein tapping that one aside, but the Eagles get down there and Forecheck able to free it up. Puck knock loose. Osseo now able to get it on out. Looking to bank it ahead toward Dwyer, but that'll be icing. Not really a particularly good angle on that one. Not a bad idea, but the execution was not there.
Well, if you're Osseo right now, you're just trying to break this down into little chunks, and you can't concentrate so much on the result of the game because you're down 5-2, and a win will seems hard right now. But trying to get it to 5-3 to go into the third period, you know, it's not a terrible thing to be down 2 goals going into the third against a team like Totino-Grace. So that's what you got to fight for right now, these final 3 minutes.
Orioles on the way out. Here comes Westman. Westman going to the net. This time pretty well defended, though. Howie Moore rides him out. Knocked loose at center, and the Orioles forced the turnover. Nice job there by Fishbach. So we'll get a face-off coming up here in the Grace zone. A little over 2.5 to play in this second period, and a 5-2 lead for the Eagles. Trying for their 5th win of the year. They've actually won their first couple of conference games already, too. Bernovic carrying it for Grace. Gets around one. Bernovic going to the net here, and Fanonstein coming out to meet him.
Bernovic has an interesting skill set. I mean, that's a very tall freshman. They got him listed at 6'1", 160 pounds. Played Bantam hockey last year in Blaine, and he's a very good high-end hockey player, and he's transitioned to the high school game quite well so far. He looks very good. A couple of these freshmen look really good for Totino-Grace. I've really been impressed with Oliver Moore, too. He flies through the middle of the ice. He's really a nice little center for the Totino-Grace team.
Yeah, Coach Jarrett from Grace kind of pointed out, he said, you're going to like both of these guys the way they go. He said, Moore, the kind of guy that every time he gets it, you kind of raise up in your seat a little bit because you think you might make something happen. Here is Pojar throwing it across, and player falling there was Ellingson. Now centering pass doesn't make it quite to the front. Pojar puts it out front, and it's covered up by Johnson. And then Westman is grabbed around the head there by Golden a little bit, and things get a little testy. Don't think we're going to have penalties coming out of this, although Golden probably getting a little scolding because he definitely did wrap the glove around him.
Well, you talked about Oliver Moore. He's caught my attention the way he flies through the neutral zone and supports the puck. Watch him on this shift here.
Puck carried by Thielen going to the net, slides it across. Oh, and a great chance goes by the wayside there for Totino-Grace, and now they're back on the attack again. Orioles able to break it out here. 2-on-2 on this rush. Well defended. Golden lined him up and took Dwyer out. Orioles get it back. Dwyer's shot knocked down. Squirts free alongside, and the Eagles come up with it again. Here is Thielen. Under a minute to go here in the second period. Thielen sliding it across, but trailer wasn't quite up to the spot he thought he needed to be there. Thrown back into the Osseo zone. 45 to go in the period. It's been an eventful period. Grace got a couple goals in the first 2 minutes, then added one more to go up 5-1 before Osseo got one back and make it a 5-2 game here. Ooh, and that shot hit an Oriole out front, changed direction, and Johnson had to get that pad low on it. The big ripper there really just kind of happened to hit Ellingson, but it almost made it go in. Ellingson up with it here for the Orioles. Still got a little time if they're able to get another opportunity, but now the puck taken by Oliver Moore. Didn't get it out though, and a stick save there. It goes off the glass. Couple seconds to go in the period, and that last try would have been late anyway there. So we've reached the end of 2 periods here tonight in Brooklyn Park. It is Totino-Grace 5, Osseo 2.
These hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage,
you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
We welcome you back to Brooklyn Park Ice Arena, and Totino-Grace boys hockey welcomes you. As you see on the glass here, the Eagles leading Osseo by a score of 5-2. Well, we have some pretty good hockey teams and players in the Northwest Suburbs again this year, and this week on our Sports Jam show on CCX, John Jacobson profiled one of the best of them, Maple Grove's Kyle Kukkonen. Let's take a look at that story.
Kyle Kukkonen shares a dream imagined by thousands of Minnesota high school hockey players each winter to play in the state tournament. It's happened only twice in Maple Grove school history. Most recently in 2017, when Kyle's brother Trevor was on the team.
It'd mean a lot. I don't think any of these guys have been there, so add another one. I think we've only been there twice, so I'll make it a third time, hopefully. My brother's always told me it's the best. He loved it his sophomore year. And he always brags how he's got the high school state and I've got all these youth, so, a little bit of bragging rights within the family.
The junior forward is one of the leaders for the second-ranked Crimson. He's also a terrific skater and plays with high energy.
He's a consummate competitor. The compete level is just really off the charts. He doesn't, sometimes he just doesn't know when to quit.
Now pass comes out run. Kukkonen scores.
There he goes. He just has tremendous character. He's a great leader in the locker room. Kids really look up to him. He's a great student, and he just brings a lot of passion and energy to the game. He really, when he comes on the ice, everything he does it with energy.
Trevor Kukkonen wore number 14 for the Crimson, graduating last year after 3 years on the varsity. Like Trevor, Kyle is a team captain and says he's learned a lot from his older brother.
Yeah, I'd say at the rink or just even at home in past years, kind of how he goes about things. And we had two great leaders last year, Trevor and then Tyler Kostelecki. So I was pretty close to both of them, so it was great to learn from those guys after their 3 years of high school.
The role of team captain is one that Kyle takes seriously, as he talks about accountability on and off the ice.
You're giving your best and in the locker room keeping everyone in line just so they kind of feed off your energy, so it kind of creates a nice positive environment.
And in, backhander is good. 7-4 Crimson.
Just get the schoolwork done, get to class on time. We have the youth in our games like before, so just kind of be a good person in the community because people look up to you, so you want to inspire them so they want to be Crimson.
Trevor is now playing juniors in the North American Hockey League with the Minnesota Magicians based in Richfield. The Kukkonens will be teammates again, too. Both have committed to playing college hockey at Michigan Tech University.
I think it's a great small-town environment, so there's games always packing at the MAC. And then I got a lot of family up there, and my cousins attend there right now, both of them, so kind of grew up around there when I'm around Christmas time and stuff, so it's a cool environment, and they got a good coaching staff, and I'm excited to go there eventually.
Michigan Tech is known for its science and engineering programs. Kyle has an interest in mechanical engineering. He's hitting the books hard now to prepare.
I put a good amount. A lot more than normal, I guess, or this year has been a little tough, but I usually set aside 2 hours or so every night, just grind out the homework.
This group of Maple Grove varsity players has enjoyed success on the way up, including as peewees and bantams.
Here's a shot and a goal, pumped in.
Now they are skating toward Minnesota's top amateur destination in downtown St. Paul.
So Kyle having a nice season, the Crimson are as well. We'll have more of them in just a moment here. Totino-Grace leading Osseo by a score of 5-2. And let's take a look at our highlights from period number 2. It was really mostly Grace early on in this period. As you see a turnover force there. Fanon's trying to save the rebound. The stick chopped out. A penalty was coming, but they slide it across, and following up on the play was Howie Moore to score a shorthanded goal 49 seconds in the period. That made it 3-1. And then not too much later, nice bank pass here, and Gelser picks it up, walks in on a 2-on-1 and scores. So they put 2 on the board in the first 2 minutes. And then it's Gelser later on getting another one as they turn it over. Nice little pass out front by Oliver Moore. Fanonstein trying to get back in net, but Delzer, knocks it home. Osseo able to get the last goal of the period, though, as the turnover there, and Dwyer pumps it home off the feed from Cameron Klein. You see the shots through 2 periods, maybe not quite as heavily in favor of Grace as it feels like in some extent, but the penalties, none in the second period. Grace took 3 in that first period, and you see each team has scored a power play goal as well. Let's take a look at the rankings this week, and Maple Grove, as we said, Kyle Kukin, we just saw him. They are in there at number 2. They're playing Andover tonight, a team ranked number 6, and Eden Prairie, of course, a very talent-laden team. A couple of the old standbys, White Bear and Hill Murray, having good seasons. Benilde's playing Wayzata tonight, another pretty good test there. And you got the 2 Lakeville schools, Blaine, also in Section 5 AA with these 2 teams. So be an interesting season, as it always is. I don't know that there's any maybe clear-cut favorite. Eden Prairie might say they are, but there's certainly some other teams that'll be good opportunities, and certainly I think Maple Grove has a chance to really go a long way this year, Joe.
Yeah, Maple Grove looks really strong. I think Eden Prairie, you mentioned them, those are the 2 obvious ones. And then I think something that really sticks out to me, one thing, let me tell you, that's really stuck out to me is the White Bear Lake. The resurgence of the Bears is pretty impressive because they're really good this year. And, you know, I'm involved in youth hockey right now, and I see them, they're up and down the board. They're one of the best Pee Wee teams in the state, one of the best Pee Wee players in the state, and then they have a great, down to the squirt level. They're all of a sudden, everyone's like, gosh, White Bear Lake is back. And then up north right now, Section 7 and Section 8 are going to be wide open. It's kind of interesting. Usually you have a really strong Duluth East team, really strong Moorhead team. They're good. They're solid hockey teams, but who will come out of Section 7 and 8? I think this year's might be the year where there's a little bit of a shakeup, and some of those teams like Andover could maybe crack through coming out of that section.
So a 5-2 lead here for Totino-Grace. We will take a timeout and get set for our 3rd period of hockey. See if Osseo can get back in it or if it's Grace going to pull away in this one here. Stay with us. More hockey on CCX.
Here's these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back here, 5-2, Totino-Grace leading Osseo, and a little note and update that Maple Grove is trailing against Andover on the road. We showed you Kyle Kukkonen and the Crimson having great success, and I don't think that would be considered a real big upset, though, if you lost at Andover. They're obviously a very good hockey team as well, and been fun to see the progress that program has made. Obviously, the school is not exactly brand new anymore, but they haven't been around as long as some of the real established hockey powers, but they're kind of nudging their way into that conversation too.
Yeah, they're on that trajectory. They got a lot of growth out there in the community just as a population standpoint, and then they just this year they passed a new hockey arena too. So once they get a second sheet of ice, right now they've been, as their youth program, that's always a sign of growth and sign of success coming, is when the youth program lands a second sheet of ice to skate on, and then you got the numbers to support it, and look out for Andover for many years to come.
See, Osseo headed back up to Warroad. They were all excited about that. They've been a staple in that tournament for a very long time, and got International Falls the day after Christmas, and they host Warroad squad on Friday, and then they'll be taking on Grafton from North Dakota home of the legendary Chris O'Connor from our CCX staff. And then you see Totino-Grace. You got a couple of pretty tough opponents there. Actually, all three of them might be present a pretty good challenge. That's one thing that the Grace coaches talked with us about before the game. I said, about moving up to AA. He said, more people are willing to schedule us because we're a AA team in the regular season. They don't want it, kind of seen as a light off a non-conference schedule. Now it comes out front. Oh, and a good recovery by the D to break it up. Holeen. Otherwise, that would have been a tap-in goal. Stein went for the poke check and didn't get it. And this shot, Johnson able to knock that one down. Ooh, and then a Oriole knockdown behind the net. So Grace coming out and nearly putting one away in about the first 25 seconds of the period. That shot attempt blocked. Eagles changing up, so nobody home. Centering pass taken away by Holeen. Now Heffron will pick it up for Grace. Sliding the pass over. It was a little off target there, but Heffron will follow up to pick it up himself. Spinning it around back behind as he looks for Connor Smith. Now back to Heffron it comes. Heffron spinning back the other way now. Tough guy to get the puck away from, but they converge on him a little bit. Put out to the point. That shot knocked down. Smith trying to chase it down. Nice little play to tap it to himself there by Klein. And no ice here as this one was tipped. Eagles looking to break it out. I think the first, 4 or 5 minutes of this period could be pretty important. Either Osseo shows signs of life, maybe, ooh, and there's Johnson having a little trouble with the puck. Either they show signs of life and get back in it, otherwise Grace maybe kind of pulling away. And you see Johnson you're able to kind of smile and laugh about it when it doesn't go in the back of your net, but for a moment there it looked a little hairy.
Johnson's looked good though tonight. When he's been tested, the one puck that made its way past him was one that he didn't see. But other than that, man, I've really been impressed with this young goaltender. He's looking good.
Yeah, it's kind of split time this year with an older guy, Lachlan Kaiser, who's a senior. Battle for it along the wall. The Eagles emerge, and Austin Bernovic's shot, though, went up high. And it's thrown toward the corner, has Jack Gray ducking out of the way. Bernovic picks it up again. And now freed up. Pass coming out front, but Gray was into his skates. And the net has come off as traffic hit that. Face-off coming up in the Osseo zone, as it looks like they're talking to Fanon a little bit about maybe he bumped that net off. We remind you to vote for our CCX Sports Play of the Week, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. Each week we put 4 new plays up each Monday and give you a week to vote on them. CCXmedia.org, the place to go to vote for the Play of the Week. Again, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. And a pad save there as they look for the tip as Thielen was right out front. Westman's pass getting away there and picked up by Parker Noss for Totino-Grace. Kept in at the line, thrown deep there by Holeen. Slapper knocked down, and the Orioles trying to get something going. Pass coming out front there, but knocked away. And now it's Grace on the rush. Belzer throwing it down low, and it goes off of Thielen. Nice play to knock it down by Oliver Moore. Look at his hands, and his pass though hit a skate. And Osseo back the other way. Pojar lifted that puck up way more than he wanted to there. He gets it again, sliding the pass across. That one will bounce all the way through, and Gelser back to play it. Rush broken up there near the line. Eagles will regroup again. Golden circling back. Pass tip free, and here comes the shot attempt from Heffron.
Yeah, see, that's where I'd like to see Heffron just use his frame and his size over that defenseman. He's going against a much smaller defender right there, and he should just lean on him. That defenseman weighs 145 pounds. He should have put that puck as far as he could to the outside, lean some more, and get a quality scoring chance. He settles for that outside shot far too much.
Yeah, Heffron hasn't been quite as big of a factor maybe as I thought he might be coming into tonight's game. Not to say he's, hasn't played a decent game, but he has not been looking to really drive to the net.
Every once in a while, you get these players that they forget that they're 6'5", 215 pounds, because he has nice hands and he has nice vision, and he kind of plays along the exterior and makes those soft plays with the puck, and he passes a lot and all that kind of stuff. But then he's got to remember, there's nobody with the size and strength on the ice that he has, and he's got to utilize that.
Yeah, and sometimes even if that doesn't lead to a chance for himself, you draw defenders to you. You get an opportunity to outnumber them on the weak side or things like that as well. Heavy check thrown there by Connor Smith, and this shot will be gloved there by Johnson. So we get a stoppage with 12:17 to go in the third. No scoring here in the third so far. It remains 5-2 Totino-Grace. Eagles have one more game before their holiday tournament as well, as they'll be playing St. Cloud Cathedral at the Catholic Cup. That's over actually at the Tria rink there downtown St. Paul. Tapped toward the Osseo line, and then a puck intercepted, but the Eagles had to wait up there, stay on side. Here's Gray turning the corner, and then the rebound try goes just wide, and once again the net has come off.
And that power move we've seen from Gray a couple of times now. It's Gray that started off in the very first shift of the game, he drove to the net like that, right? Similar play. Leans in, gets that inside edge, and drives the net. He got a little bit of a slash there, knocked the puck away, but still a good scoring chance.
There's a shot that goes just wide of the mark. Dwyer over to it for Osseo, looking to reverse it around here. Nick Millette sending it back, trying to break it out, but that's going to be no icing. Forced to turn back there was Noss. Now they get the puck nicely onto the stick of Gray. Drop pass there and wasn't really on target, but Gray will get it back again, dumps it down deep. Bernovic trying to free that puck up, as is Gray. Now Sawicki's pass, not going to connect, and it'll be an icing. Dwyer actually kind of had his stick lifted there as he was trying to reach out for that puck, and it's an icing call. Will come back into the Orioles end. It feels like, we talked about how they've been a little bit short-handed, and it feels like Osseo might be getting a little bit tired out here in this third period.
Well, they have to work a lot harder. I mean, just to keep up and to get the puck out of their zone, they have to exert a lot more energy than the Eagles at this point. It's amazing how much, less energy you exert when you have possession of the puck and you're able to make tape-to-tape passes. I mean, just the quality of passing is really what defines who wins and loses a hockey game a lot of times. I think there's some kind of study out there, and I'll mangle the actual stat, but whoever completes the most passes typically wins a hockey game. And you see that tonight with Totino-Grace. They are completing way more passes than Osseo.
And I think they've been skating a third line more regularly, certainly, than the Orioles, too, and that might have a little something to do with them being a little bit fresher as well. Oh, a nice move by Moore. Goes to the net, and Fanonstein the save. Oliver Moore, even though it doesn't go in, kind of impressive with that little move.
It's impressive, but he's got to get that thing up. If he gets that thing up top, that's a definite Chick-fil-A play of the week. He was so close to getting some chicken sandwiches.
And you can see right there, he was frustrated, kind of jabbing at the pad of Fanonstein there as well. Tried to throw it out front. Westman, though, intercepting and tried to spring Pojar, who had to kind of turn and try and look for that puck. Right idea for sure for Westman after he intercepted that one, but It'll turn out to be an icing call. Certainly a gamble worth taking there to try and spring your teammate Pojar. Eagles get it back on a nice play at center as Parker Noss stepping in to take it. Little drop pass for Heffron. Puts it out front. And net is off again.
Oh, what a great play by Noss, both on the defensive side and then on the offensive transition coming down there. And we saw a bad drop pass just a shift ago. And this one here's the right idea. You know, when you're doing a drop pass, it's not so much that you pass it. You actually want to just kind of leave it. That's the easiest way for the trailer to get that puck and not be caught off guard by which way the puck's going.
Heffron up with it. It squirts away from him, though. Dwyer trying to come back the other way, but pretty good recovery by the D-men there for the Eagles. Pushed back into the Osseo zone. Holin's pass knocked away. And then overskated a little bit, but thrown down deep by Noss. Fishbach sending it back over there. Holin, though, bottled up. Pass coming back out. Here's a shot. Fanonstein, a big rebound, but it comes to Dwyer. Dwyer trying to play it around the D and go get it. Centering pass here, but it's off target. Eagles get it out, or now they bring it back and regroup. Done a pretty nice job of being patient with the puck at times when their first idea for a breakout is taken away. Heffron blocked that long pass. Tipped in deep here by the Eagles. Gray chasing after it. Also Bernovic. Bernovic jumps in to help. Fishbach trying to spin away from him, gets it ahead to Pojar, and he'll flutter one out. Boy, that almost worked out well for Ellingson to have that one from his skate to stick there.
Holding penalty coming up on Golden.
We got the penalty coming on the Eagles. First penalty we've had in quite some time is Golden. It might have been okay if he had kind of let go just a little quicker there.
He's a big physical player, and you can see right here, he kind of grabs a hold, he's got some leverage, and he uses that leverage to lift up the Oriole and throw him to the ground. Opportunity for Osseo.
I don't think he was in terrible position that early. You know, he kind of hooked the arm a little, but I think he still would have been okay if he hadn't continued to follow through with it there. So it gives Osseo an opportunity. As you know, as much as maybe they've been outplayed overall, if they get a goal here, you're looking at 5-3. And again, still an uphill climb. I'm not saying they're on the verge of coming all the way back, but it's not over yet. Let's just put it that way, especially if they get one here. That shot attempt, though, is blocked. And intercepted. The Eagles able to come up with it briefly. Klein will carry it in, but then they turn it over. Gelser, though, couldn't get it around the player, but now here come the Eagles. 2-on-2 or 3-on-2 shorthanded. Oh, and it's offside.
You saw Gelser moved over there. He tried to open up a lane for Howie Moore, who was jumping into the play, but in doing so, Sam Thielen went off sides. It's one of those plays where it's kind of the right idea. He's trying to create those lanes for the 3-on-2, but he just did it right outside the blue line.
Well, and Osseo was really fortunate there. I don't know where everybody wound up. They turned that puck over, and it didn't seem like they were in that bad a position. But I look up, and nobody really was getting back into the play, none of the forwards.
Well, those things where sometimes the penalty killing unit's working harder than the power play unit, so it doesn't matter that they have one less player. They're outworking them.
Orioles get it into the offensive zone, try and get set up on this power play. Westman, that one deflected high in the air. Then the clearing attempt, Fanon, as his stick was lifted. But Eagles come up with it here, and they will get a chance to clear it in. Westman then has it taken away. Here's a chance, and Oliver Moore with a beauty. Short-handed.
Oh, that flip pass puts Westman in such a difficult position. He's got to field that puck, and he's got pressure from one of the more gifted freshmen in the state all over him, and he just doesn't play it well. And what you want to do there is you almost take that puck and cup it too long and just get called for, cupping the puck. It's a face-off inside your own zone because you know that guy's breathing down on you. Or you put the puck on the ice as fast as possible and you get two hands on your stick. That put him in a bad spot, and it was just the wrong player, too, to be on him because Oliver Moore's got such good hands, man. He looked beautiful with that play right there.
I think he looked up here and said, "See, Joe, I got that one up a little bit too, right?"
Yep. Now he's got a chance to get that Chick-fil-A play of the week. That one is going to be a contender for sure. Smooth hands, boy.
So a 6-2 lead for Totino-Grace. Not long ago, I was saying, if Osseo can score on this power play, they're kind of back in it. Well, the opposite happens here as they give up a shorthanded goal. Oh, and there's Osseo answering, though, right at the end of that power play, just after it expired, as the puck popped out front and then put away. And the Orioles, obviously, they would have rather had that one before Grace got a shorthanded goal on them, but it's going to be Dwyer putting it in.
Yeah, Dwyer's got a quick little snapshot. This is his second goal. It's the same type of play, right? He just goes to the net, finds an open space. God, I love that play right there. He makes the pass off the wall down low, and he cuts to the net. So many players make a pass, and then they stand and watch to see what's going to happen next. He's made a pass and then moved and made something happen. Excellent looking play there from the Orioles.
Scored by number 9, Jackson Dwyer.
Dwyer will get his 6th of the season, 2nd of the night.
Once again, Orioles goal. Scored by 9, Dwyer. Assistant 18, at 10:45.
Carson Strike will get an assist on that goal at 10:45. They haven't actually put it up on the scoreboard here, but Osseo now trailing at 6-3.
Well, Totino-Grace is going to keep on coming here. This line has not been as effective. Let's see if they can get into the scoring action here for the Eagles.
Chance goes wide of the mark. Always amazing me. How does nobody notice that they haven't put a goal up here yet? And we've had a whistle and everything. We got 3 officials out there. You'd think Osseo Ben should be telling them, and we've done probably a minute of play here with now they put it up. You could see it a little more if you're talking like basketball, where there's a basket every, 30 seconds. But
it would never happen in a Mites game because all the kids would be so distracted by it and be yelling that the score's not up there. These kids are not going to settle down until there's a number 3 up there on the board.
I'm with them on that. I would have been doing the same if I was Osseo. Now it'll squirt free out to center here. Boy, it just... Again, if they just, there's a lot of ifs involved, but if they just had not allowed that shorthanded goal and then get that one, there's still time to at least have kind of made it interesting. But now it's back at a 3-goal margin as they kind of just traded goals there about a half minute apart. And the goal, by the way, came 2 seconds after the penalty had expired, so it was kind of almost like a power play goal, although officially does not go down as one. Trying to get it ahead to Westman, a bouncing puck there at center, but well handled and thrown back in. Fishbach will swing it around, but Gray intercepts that, throwing it to Heffron. Putting it out front, here's a chance, and Gray's shot knocked down. That one developed into a pretty good opportunity there, but a tough puck to control. Now Heffron working his way out front. Trying to play it around the player and does. Heffron walking in and then getting it over to Gray, and the net has again come off, it looks like here.
That's a tough shift. I don't like, you don't like to call players out too much, but on the wing there, Ellingston gets a breakout pass, and he just kind of coughs it up, right? There's nobody really on him. He uses that little one-touch pass to the middle, goes right to Totino-Grace player, and all of a sudden now you're on the defense. And then he's one of the, there's 3 or 4 players there where, you shouldn't let a player just kind of walk all around your defense the way he did right there. He walks all around the top of the circles. He's a good hockey player, but someone's got to at least try to check.
Gray throwing a check there for Grace as they battle, and has actually been a relatively clean game tonight, although getting a little bit feisty down in the corner.
Yeah, all the penalties have been kind of, strong battle plays. Sticks getting caught in skates, maybe a little bit of holding here and there, but nothing crazy.
Orioles looking to break it out up the middle there. Caleb Manson going to roll in on Johnson here. Just down to a little over 2.5 minutes to play in the game. Looks like Grace is going to win their 5th game of the season as they lead Osseo by a score of 6-3. Invite you to join us for more boys hockey coming up Saturday night. We'll be at New Hope Ice Arena as Armstrong Cooper hosts Hopkins in a non-conference game. Here's Oliver Moore swooping in to take it for the Eagles. Nice pass ahead, and they try to return it to Moore, and Holeen able to read that one and intercept, but the Eagles get it right back. Gonna float one in. Fanenstein's gonna grab that one and hang on as Moore was speeding up the slot there. So a face-off coming up in the Osseo zone with 1:48 to go in this one.
Yeah, they didn't connect on that play, but you see the good thing for these wings, I've seen Thielen make a number of great passes to Moore, and also you saw Gelser trying to do it there. They know he is always working hard up the middle of the ice without the puck, so they can kind of sauce it to a certain area and know that he's going after it.
Fishbach swinging it around to Pojar. Trying to go to Westman, but that one was a little off target. Orioles will try again here. And a solid check thrown there by Thielen. Tried to get it out front. Pops along the dasher there. Westman relaying it around as we go under a minute to play here in the third. Swept out. Pojar up with it now for Osseo. That one intercepted. Here comes a chance for a 2-on-1. Now 2-on-2. Gelser going to the net. Fanenstein the save, and the Orioles hack it out. Under 40 seconds to go. Chance now for Osseo, and Pojar denied there.
Well, you saw a second ago down the other end, just an excellent forecheck from Thielen. I just love the way he kept on working. He was taking away the passing lane from the defenseman and still kind of moving his feet, and then eventually ended up taking all the ice away from the defenseman. Put a great body check on him, and then a single-handed play like that, he did it well. The rest of his line mates were getting a line change. The next line was able to come on the ice and get some offense going.
Ooh, a near miss there for Osseo after winning that draw. And looks like we'll have penalties coming up, possibly one to each there, as Heffron was tangled up with Jackson Dwyer. And Dwyer's probably kind of not too disappointed that they jumped in and broke that one up right away. Heffron is a kind of a big customer to tangle with.
Well, and Dwyer was just sitting on the back door there, almost had his hat trick, and It was a good defensive play to tie him up, and then they just kept on jiggy-jacking and pushing each other down there in the corner. And it's the time of the game where you just referee made the right decision, make a quick whistle, get him to the box, and move on.
Orioles looking to regroup at center. Yeah, just both roughing Miners at 16:33. Final seconds will tick down here. And this one comes to a close with Totino-Grace scoring a 6-3 victory. And kind of see, Joe, why there's some talk about them as being a team that might be a pretty good squad this year when all is said and done. They've certainly got some ability, some guys that can skate, some young talent, including the goalie who's just getting some pats on the head there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at the kind of talent that Totino-Grace team has. They look like the kind of speed and high-end talent that's going to be able to play with any team in the state this year, especially in this conference, and they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Now, they have some things to work on. There's some mistakes here. They got to probably stay out of the box. There's some teams that would have really buried them on the power play here tonight, but overall, a good performance from Totino-Grace. They really responded well after kind of a not-so-good first period to come down and open up that second period the way they did. They really put a lot of pressure on this Osseo team.
And we kind of look forward to seeing Osseo when they maybe get a little bit more back to full strength as well. Certainly going to help the depth of their lineup. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this one, and happy holidays from all of us at CCX Sports. Again, join us Saturday night for more boys hockey. Armstrong Cooper hosting Hopkins. Your final in this one is Totino-Grace 6, Osseo 3. For Joe Moline and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Brooklyn Park.